All right. Star Ocean: The Divine Force is the sixth main series Star Ocean game. It's a series of Japanese role-playing games, and yes, it is very anime in its storytelling and its narrative. There's a long tradition of this series. This is sort of the point where we see the Star Ocean and Tales series having evolved in very different amounts of success and innovation over the years. Uh, so no matter what, when you approach this game, you're gonna think like, how good was Tales of Arise last year? Well, it was fantastic. You know, it was a great game, and this game is just so average. But the thing is, the core idea is better. The core idea has always been better. Star Ocean has always had leagues more personality and more of a core, better idea, even if it goes on unchanging, than the Tales series ever had. So in that respect, you know, I definitely want to give this game its due, but of course, it was obviously mediocre. Probably about 3 hours in, once I'd given it its chance. Yeah, it's not amazing. It looks all right. The character models are quite strange. Um, the sort much it is much better looking than the previous game, Integrity and Faithlessness, but it is very much a traditional game in this style, and it hasn't been innovative or interesting probably since I would say 2003 or so, whenever Till the End of Time came out. That was, you know, at that point, the action combat system, I think they added blindsiding where you could basically parry or parry dodge, freeze time, and then there was different things that were more fun over time. The most fun I've had with the combat in a Star Ocean game was probably, let's see, I think I can't remember the year of the game, but yeah, the Last Hope, probably the Last Hope. Um, yeah, because yeah, so that was also a blonde protagonist. I remember that. So it's been remade more recently. Uh, but where basically the more that you do certain actions, the more you get experience points that go towards building up those actions, and you can build up experience multipliers that make uh, not getting hit, pulling off combos, using certain moves in a row, certain types of moves. You could really detail, you could put your experience where you wanted it to based on your actions in battle. And it made it so the combat was more fun than the average game around it, which was the graphics have always been dated for every game in the series beyond 1998. So this game does away with the customizable combat experience in terms of the outcome and just gives you general experience that you put into various traditional Star Ocean sort of things. And it sort of takes the wind out of the need to grind. They don't want you to grind when you play this game out unless it becomes necessary because you don't have the skill to make it through the battles. The battles are few and far between. It's all very laid back, very cushy, and it seems like a game that was resigned itself to being made for children, and the acting is quite bad. So, ugh, you know, uh, as much as I want to get into what's cool about Star Ocean, which is really the mixture of science fiction, which reveals itself out of a high fantasy setting, and then eventually takes you from being grounded on a high fantasy planet to a full science fiction epic in the end. They've never been able to pull it off very well, and here they get as close as they ever have, which is nothing to complain about. There's quite a lot to this game, and it does go places eventually. But again, after 40 hours, I was definitely just skipping the dialogue, trying to get through the game. Um, and I think I decided after 4 or 5 hours, this is definitely a 6.5 out of 10. It's a very moderate recommendation, only for the niche fan who is either thrilled to just be playing an anime looking video game that is in high definition, or that loves the tradition of these games. I kind of fall into the loving the tradition of this particular series and its own tropes, which were fun enough. I think that it's too long for what it is. I don't think that it's that much better than Integrity and Faithlessness outside of the presentation side of it. They put a lot more money into things like voice actors, cutscenes, character design, and there's a bit more detail in the overworld. Uh, the only real the only real redeeming grace of it is that the combat remains fast, stylish, and fun. Uh, if not still very limited to a 90s set of options. And the traversal is fun. It's just fun to float around the world and run around and pick up stuff. You've got a scanner, you can grab items, and it's that simple that it's fun to just run around and explore. And that's fine with me. You know, it won't be for most. I can't recommend it to most people. It is very much not as good as your options for Japanese RPGs these days, and I could direct you in a million better places for either more modern or more mature storytelling that still has this aesthetic. Then again, all that Star Ocean really has is some of the unique action ideas and science fiction plus high fantasy, fish out of water kind of stories. It's hard to recommend it again, but it's something I had to play, had to catch up with, and I've played every game in this series, so that's all. The only reason I want to talk about it.